everyone and welcome to a somber video. Today's video I'm talking about book series that I just will not finish because of many reasons that you'll soon find out when watching the video. I've got a few that I regret to say and I'm just gonna be really honest with you guys and explain to you why I don't want to finish these series. So let's get cracking. Can we get this video to 700 thumbs up? I'll leave that with you guys because you have been smashing it recently. Are you part of the notification squad? Let me know down below, or if you want to join, hit the bell button and subscribe to join the Tomies fam. So first off, I'm going to be talking about why I'm not going to finish the Fifth Way Trilogy, and I can explain to you why. Because I loved the first book, I thought it was great. The second book was lacking. I felt the story just went off on this really weird tangent, and it was so thin. Like it felt like a novella if anything. And the third book just took so long to come out that, to be honest, I've kind of forgotten what happened, and I just don't fancy rereading the series and reminding myself because I've just got better books to read. Like, this book series doesn't touch me. I love this one. I was so excited for this one to come out and was kind of disappointed. And that's it. I'm just not going to read the rest. I feel like, am I the only one, guys? I know his writing's great and a lot of people love him, but I just didn't enjoy the sequel and I just don't want to read the third book because it just took so long to come out. I'm sorry, boo. Another series I'm not going to read anymore is this series here. I believe there's another one coming out. I could be wrong, but I read Blythewood and really loved it by Carol Goodman. Then I read the sequel and I couldn't even finish the sequel. I had to DNF it. I just thought it was slow, weird, odd, crazy, purple prosy, just descriptive and odd. I just found it really odd. I don't know why. I loved book one and I bought book two because the cover was just, the covers, really are stunning, like really. Yeah, I love these covers. But book two really lacked for me and I don't know, there might be more in the series. I have no idea because I never finished this one. So this is a series I will not be finishing, although I do love the covers. I'll never judge a book by its cover, but I always do. I always do. Another series I'm not going to finish is this series, Shadows and Haze by Paula Weston. For so long I was never going to say anything bad about these books or just not talk about them in general, but to be honest, I thought these books were really not that very good. I didn't like them. I didn't like the story. I found it really rushed and confusing and it just wasn't for me. I know people like it and that's fantastic. I'm glad it's for some people, but it's just not for me. Angel fiction really isn't just my cup of tea. Wow, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. I just found this series lacking and I just have no drive to read the rest. I just really don't. I don't know why. I didn't connect with any characters. I thought that the secret which was in this story was just dragged on for so long, and I don't know, I suppose book one was interesting enough, but the sequel was just lacking and I just don't fancy reading any more of it. The Oversight by Charlie Fletcher is a book which I bought myself 2 years ago and I read it and it was okay. I just had no desire to pick up the rest. I found it a bit too crazy and sporadic and hard to kind of follow on what was going on. I think it is adult fiction, so it was kind of like one of my first stepping stones into adult fiction fantasy, and it kind of shocked me. It was just a bit too crazy, and I just know for a fact that if I read book two I would have no idea what would have happened in book one. I just wouldn't have an idea. So The Oversight by Charlie Fletcher, lovely cover, great premise, interesting story, but just not interesting enough. Just not interesting enough. Jacoby by William Ritter, again, interesting premise, didn't connect with the story. I found it quite rushed and I read it and I just wasn't that interested in it, so I won't be picking up the rest of the series, which is such a shame because the covers are so good and I love covers and I just want to read books for the covers, and when I find things like this I get so upset, so I won't be carrying on with this series. But it is an interesting enough story and I did enjoy it. I just did not enjoy it enough. I found it a bit, I just lacked that connection. I think that was the main thing with this. I just lacked the connection. I almost wish there was another 100 pages in just to fill out the kind of everything that was happening. Was a bit too fast, then slow, then fast. Like the pacing. For me, personally, I know a lot of people love it, so I'm not bashing it, I'm just saying, preference-wise, pacing for me was just a bit weird to read. But yes, I know a lot of people like it, and I can see why, because it has got a great story presence, just not for me. You guys are gonna laugh at this one. Yes, The Hunger Games. I've read book one and two, loved it. Read half of book three, and had to put it down and DNF it, because I just didn't like the way it was ending. I thought it was just crazy, and I love this series. I love the films, I love the story, I just couldn't read it. So I suppose the reason why I didn't read the last one is, yes, okay, I don't like what happened, but two, it was more of a personal thing for me. I wasn't ready for the events in book three. But I read this, I liked this series, it's just like I said, I wasn't ready. I don't think I really need to read book three. I know what happens. That's why I DNF'd it and I won't be finishing it and I won't ever pick book three up, ever, unless I reread this series maybe one day in the future, which is possible because it is a great series. I just don't think I'll be reading book three. Oh, I'm sorry. Why have I picked The Hobbit out? That makes no sense. And last but not least, The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa. I love Julie Kagawa's writing. writing. I love Talon's series. I love the Faye series she's done. This series to me, I like this book, but again, I started reading this when I started BookTube and I never picked up the sequels, and I just won't now because it's been so long and I just don't want to invest any time rereading it because I've got so many other books to read and also new books by Julie Kagawa, which I really love. So this is less of a negative, the reason why I haven't read this series. It's more the fact that it's just been a long time and I've forgotten really what happens, and I suppose I know some premise of it and some scenes are stuck in my head. I just wouldn't really want to reread it, so yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So there you have it. They're all the books that I'm not ever going to be finishing the series. I hope you guys enjoyed. I find these videos really fun to watch, so I hope you enjoyed. Let's see if we can get this video to 700 thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below with one series that you have not yet finished and don't think you ever really will finish. And apart from that, I'll see you all again for another video very soon. Bye!